Hey everyone, SamuraiRevolution here, and today we're going to do our Sioux Nation review. So hang in here, we're going to get some in-depth analysis of the Sioux. We had a really rough start with them, but it ended strongly, and I'll definitely be playing some more Sioux games in the future. But before we get started, big shout out to you guys. We have reached a fundraiser goal. I know I haven't addressed it yet, because I've had some of my videos made ahead of time. But we made it $500, so the computer is going to be put together legitimately towards the end of May. I'm already ordering some parts as they come on sale. So that's going to be really exciting. Once that comes out, I'm going to try to do a build video, and then I'll give each of you guys shout-outs who donated. I'm thinking of writing your guys' names on the case of the computer, on the side or something. Because obviously you guys put a massive part into it. So I think that'd be really cool. I'm still kind of playing around with that idea. But yeah, something like that is going to happen, and I'm just really thankful. I'm super excited to play some high quality AoE and get some high quality videos out soon. So that's going to be awesome. But let's go into this nation review. So starting off with the Sioux, and we're going to get in some gameplay as well, just like the Aztec one, because you guys enjoyed that a lot. So I'll do that kind of once I talk about some of the units. But starting off here with the civilization bonus, they start off with 200 population, and as a native civ, they have the trade posts seen at the beginning. So you can see all the trade post sites at the start. And the 200 population is amazing. It's so nice to have when you're rushing. You don't have to worry about anything. You can just toss out your guys. So it's really awesome. And it's something else I have is a TP bonus, which we'll kind of talk about later. And I didn't really get to use that much. I know I really need to use that more, so I'll definitely get a video on that eventually. But let's talk about the first units here, the Wakina rifle and the rifle riders. So the Wakina rifle, high attack and really good price. So I enjoy these guys a lot. I highlighted them in my previous video when I did the Fast Fortress. They did an excellent job. I enjoy them because they cost a little more food than coin in comparison to regular skirmishers, and that suits the Sioux very well because of how much food they gather with the hunts and stuff, and constant village production with the fire dancing. You get villagers out for that too, so that helps out a lot. I think that makes them a lot more effective because you don't need as many people on coin. And then rifle riders, such good units, one of the best cav units of the game. I know you guys love them. They do an excellent job. I didn't really have many games where they highlighted them too much, but they do a really good job because they have amazing multipliers. Specifically, they have a multiplier against heavy infantry, which dragoons and other units like that normally don't. So that's a really big perk for them, and then they shoot really quick as well. Great age 3 unit. So those age 3 were my favorite combo. So I would honestly suggest doing a Fast Fortress with the Sioux. If you like those kind of units, like skirmishers and dragoons, they did really, really well together. So let's look at the gameplay clip with them. So here it is, the last Fast Fortress that I did. We were playing against British, and he has so many musketeers. And let's watch these Wakina riflemen go to work, just smashing these musketeers. All you see is yellow XP just flying in the air. He takes down one of my guys. And then the rifle rider's getting some hits in there as well because they have the multiplier versus the musketeers. And he is just on the back foot immediately. So these are this is the musketeer killer army right here. And this is at the end of the game. So we're going to see some more units that we're going to talk about here shortly. But I got a big mix of guys. Axe riders in there as well with some clubmen. And this whole army just does an excellent job. So we're going to have the riflemen get in there. And the cavalry get in there. And then we're going to surround them. Which you guys have probably seen this clip already. If you haven't seen this video, watch this video. Excellent execution for a Sioux Fast Fortress. It was just awesome. And I have a bunch of clubs there to get some siege. And I know some guys were like, you can do the fire dance for the siege. I know that, but it is also nice to have a mix of guys in there. So I was thinking, hey, I could get some melee in there too. And that's exactly what we did. And as you can see, it turned out excellent. Grabbing the victory there. Good job with the Sioux. So off to the other units now. We got the Chaitan Bow unit. These guys are basically like crossbowmen. They're cheap and effective. They do a pretty decent job. Age 2. I got some good clips of them we'll go into here in a second. But they pair good with the clubmen as well, which I also have some clips on. And clubs are kind of like a pike unit. They do a little better in melee though. I didn't highlight them here because I didn't really have enough space. But the really good Age 2 that you guys want to use are the bow riders. So Age 2, you get ranged cavalry, which most nations do not get, and these guys don't have that 0.5 multiplier versus the Villies, so they can do decent versus Villies in raids. And I didn't really get the chance to do this. I really want to, so in a future video I will do this, but I didn't have the opportunity to. I was too focused on using them as a straight up anti-cav option, and I kind of forgot that they had the 0.5. They didn't have the 0.5 multiplier, so in the future I do need to do that. So I will eventually. Play more videos to come. With the Axe Rider here, these guys have high attack but very costly, and they have low hit points. So they reminded me of the Ulans, but unfortunately these guys cost so much, they're not nearly as effective in my opinion to train them in mass. And you got to use them as like a, I want to say like an assistant unit. Like you can't really mass these guys in numbers like you would for your normal cavalry and like go in and attack. You kind of have to use these guys sparingly, and they cost a lot of resources, so I don't really advise using them like too much, but you definitely use them as an accessory getting raids out and such. They have an Age 2 card where you send 4 of them in, which is incredible. It's such a good card. One of the best military cards, which we'll talk about later. But other than that, really, I would use them a little more sparingly. What the cav unit you do want to use, though, is the Dog Soldier. These guys are unreal, as you guys have seen, and we'll get some gameplay clips in. Insane speed. They're already quick, and then you can add an upgrade onto them that makes them even quicker. And then they're great for the OP box around your chief. I didn't do that, but I've seen other people do it, and you could easily do it, and it would be amazing. But these guys are just solid. Let's just go into the gameplay clips, and you guys will see. So the first one we have right here is with the Chiton bows. This was in a 2v2, you guys have probably seen it. And I got a decent number of them right now, and we're basically going to go in here and just wreck these infantry while the cavalry go around and like cause some chaos and just protect my bows. And there's going to be a point where there's guys on both sides of me, and I'm just going at it from both sides. And they do a great job. They don't have the best range, and they have a shoot animation, so that's kind of a downside for them. But they do a decent job, H2. You can't really expect too much from them. Obviously, you want to get H3 and get those riflemen. But in this situation, it worked out very well. And they're really cheap, so you can get a bunch of them out very quickly. And having the wood instead of like coin H2 is kind of useful because you can get trade posts and such while you guys are getting wood. So that's what we did here. They were pretty effective in this situation. So I would recommend doing them H2. I don't know if I would do this again, like choosing them specifically. I would probably do a fast fortress and try to get the Wakina rifleman, but choosing these guys isn't a bad option. I did include this next gameplay clip though, which is in a 1v1 against the ports, and I have a combination of H2 units here, and you guys can see how well they do. So we're rushing the ports here. I got some clubs, I got some bow units, and I got some axe riders all around, and they're gonna pair up and do a great job taking down this town center. He's going to have some musketeers come up, but the bows take care of those nicely. And then the clubs do a great job taking down the town center. So it's just a good combination of the units there. You can see how effective they can be in H2 if you want to do a strategy like that. And I think it's kind of deceiving because most people think that Sioux, like they instantly think cavalry, which is true. Like they have great cavalry. So when you kind of go with H2 infantry like this, or even like Wakina riflemen, they kind of get surprised like, oh wait, yeah, the Sioux do have some infantry. And then you can just pair them up nicely and put them in the work. So here we are, we're going to take down this town center, and just put a little highlight clip on how effective they can be H2. So I definitely give them a try. I think in this video I never built a corral even. I just spammed out infantry and then sent in guys with my cards, cav units with my cards, and it worked out very well. So I highly recommend that. Next clip we got here, we got some rifle riders and dog soldiers going to work, destroying that French cuirassiers, which someone was telling me that's how I pronounce it, which is correct. And look at that, man. I don't even lose a guy. Like, all these cav units are gone. Rifle riders in the back there just going to work, and then the dog soldiers just eating them up. And now we're going to go into his base with just the dog soldiers. So I have a massive amount here. And you guys have probably seen this already, but let's just look how effective these guys are. They get in the walls in a matter of seconds. And then with the siege dance, take down a bank in one throw. I wish I would have put these guys in a box and like gone around taking down buildings a little bit quicker that way. But it's kind of funny to see him just like disperse out into the base and take stuff down. It's like a bunch of ants just going around, and it's always exciting to see. But like I barely lose any of the guys while he's trying to tag me. He has some skirmishers, and they don't even have a chance. And then once I switch it to attack, the skirmishers like get taken down like one hit, which is crazy. But yeah, so they were in the battle against blue in the northwest kinda, and I was just going into the base. I was like, I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity and just take down what he's got. That's what we did, and it just worked out extremely well. So these guys are really quick too. There's a card age 3 you can send in. I think it's 1,000 coin, where you send in some dog soldiers, and then you get like a speed percentage increase. I think it's 10%, which is it's really good card to use. It's the one with like the coin next to it, because it costs coin to send in. But yeah, that just increases your dog soldiers even more. And then there's also one where it has like the dog soldier on the front, where it like increases their, I think it's against, I want to say infantry. It might be infantry or villagers. I think it's an infantry though. Their effectiveness against them gives them like an extra multiplier or something like that, which makes them even better. So those are units. Let's go into the pros and the cons. So the pros, 200 pop start, as we said. These guys have a great start, a great rush, because you don't have to worry about the houses, and then not having to worry about the wood, you can do a pretty effective fast fortress, as you guys saw. I just sent in some wood, built a bunch of trade posts, and then basically had everyone on food and coin. And I got also my market upgrades with that wood shipment. So that's awesome. And then, yeah, you can use the wood to get TPs and such. I didn't really get to do that too much, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. Solid military shipments. So they have some great military shipments. 9, I'm pretty sure it's 9 Makino Riflemen age 3. I'm pretty sure that's a card I sent in. That's a solid card. And then also 5 Rifle Riders. And then the 4 Axe Riders age 2 is what is so good. Such a great card to send in. I highly recommend, if you're not doing a Fast Fortress, I highly recommend sending that one off the bat. And you're just going to be harassing the enemy. I did that in the 2v2 with the Sioux, and I basically got into their base before they even aged up, because the Sioux have the quick age up. So I highly recommend sending that card in first. Or at least as soon as you age up. So yeah, unique cav units, we kind of went over this. The Bow Riders age 2, really unique, having that ranged cavalry then. And then having the Rifle Riders age 3 that have a multiplier versus heavy infantry. Very unique as well. And then the Dog Soldier, so good at what they do. Basically, Oprinchniks on steroids. And you can't ask for more. Like that's all you need late game. Unique Home City cards. So these guys have some pretty cool cards. Specifically, I wanted to highlight their hunt cards. So they have hunts that you can send in of buffalo, which is fantastic because the Sioux go through so much food. You need those hunts sometimes. So I love having those in my deck. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other unique cards. They have some good, the TP cards, obviously, and we'll kind of talk about that now. The TP cards are good. You can have your some of your infantry units build TPs as well on the battlefield. And the TPs are good. I just didn't use them as much. I don't know. For my personal situations, like in that Fast Fortress, I felt like it was a better investment to spend on units than to spend on the wood. But if you had, and they don't cost that much wood, maybe if you send in like a wood shipment and then you can have those TPs built out, that can be really effective because you can get the hit points and attack on them, and then you can get them cheaper and stuff. I definitely wanted to try that eventually. I just didn't really have the opportunity to right now. And then like I think that would be really good if you had a battle line going and there was like a really tight battle, you could get the edge, getting those bonuses. And then also the War Chief. The War Chief is amazing. Honestly, he could be one of my favorite heroes in the game because you have the course, so he goes around super quick. He can go all around the map. He can get scout out very quickly. And then you can have him with your dog soldiers and your other cavalry units when he's going around. So that's a big perk to have. He has a lot of hit points. And yeah, he can get the influence, obviously. But I really enjoyed him a lot. I think my guy's name is Big Tree. So Big Tree does a great job. But yeah, one of my favorite explorers for sure. So let's go into the cons. Obviously, no walls. Big con right there. In team games, you can get your teammates to build you some walls, but if it's not a team game, gotta be careful. Anyone can come in at any time, and late game, that kind of could be an issue. Artillery, obviously, they don't have any. And this is a little different from other civs like the Aztecs, where they have like an artillery type unit. The Sioux do not. All they have is the dance to take down siege, for siege to take down buildings and stuff. And then it's not like India, where they don't have like a anti-infantry artillery and they can send in with the consulate. They have no options, so all you can do is your siege dance. The only other thing you maybe could do is if there's like natives or something that could be kind of effective in that way. But other than that, you gotta stick with what you got. The poor economy. So I want to kind of focus on this. Their food intake is great. They have some great hunting cards, and they have the hunts that you can send in. But what I mean with a poor economy is that late game, it struggles so much. Just like the Aztecs, what I'm finding out with the native civs is that once the natural resources are gone, the economy struggles, and it honestly is a good reflection of like real life. Like once industrial age kind of came, it was hard for them to keep up. And it kind of reflects in this game, but you got to be aware of that. Like, once the coin's off the map, you're going to struggle to get coin. And this is especially so because you have to have the 25 guys on that dance, because you need that attack bonus, kind of. And having that lack of economy right there, those 25 units, it makes it a little more difficult. But at the same time, they do have a good boom with the villagers on the fire dance. So they do have a good boom in that aspect, which I didn't put in here. I probably should put that in here. But yeah, you just gotta be careful late game. Different play style / hard. So obviously, as you guys seen, it took me a long time to get used to the Sioux, but in the end, I did start to enjoy them more. I feel like they struggle a lot in team games. It's hard for them to get a good edge in team games. Maybe if you did like a fast fortress in a team game, they'd be a lot more effective because you can get rifle riders out early, and then Wakina Riflemen as well. So I would highly suggest that. Or maybe just using your bow riders a little more effectively. I use them strictly as an anti-cav when they can be used as a raiding cavalry. So I suggest that. And then kind of to go with that, lots and lots and lots of micromanaging. I've constantly found myself going back and forth from hunts to the battle to cavalry raiding to my barracks to the town center, just all around. And a lot of herding you have to do with all the food that they take in, especially if you're kind of going with cav. And it's just a lot of microing, so be prepared for that. And then the last con I got here is poor late game / cards. So I know I highlighted unique home city cards as a pro, but at the same time, they could use some... Oh, this is what I mean. They could use some late game cards. All their good cards are age 2, and some of them are age 3, some of them are age 1, but the majority of them are age 2. For example, there's a card that lets you convert all your axe riders into rifle riders age 2, which is an amazing card, but I can barely find room for it in my age 2 section because I have all the age 2 cards filled, because you have all your TP cards in there, you have some hunt cards, you have your train time, you have some resources you want to send in, there's so many different things that you can send in, units, and it's really hard to get that all stacked out. So I don't know, maybe they could kind of add the Sioux to have some extra H2 slots or something. But at the end of the game, once you get the H4, there's like no cards you can send in. The only card I think I have in my deck is something for my like War Chief, but they don't get any bonuses in the later ages. The only bonuses that they get are the dog soldiers. Once you go to age 4, there's like no reason to go to age 4 if you're the Sioux. That's the only unit you unlock, and you don't get factories, you don't get any great upgrades or anything like that from your home city, as I'm saying. So that's a big negative. If you're playing with the Sioux, you gotta win when you're in age 3, and then only other thing is if you're in age 4, you gotta get dog soldiers and go in. Other than that, you're gonna struggle. Age 5, you're gonna struggle unless you're obviously stacking up dog soldiers in a treaty or something. But yeah, those are my thoughts there. But overall, I enjoyed the Sioux. They're way different open play style, so if you're gonna give them a try, give them a few games, relax. There's a lot of stuff going on with them, and they're way different. But if you use them effectively, I can see them being a very, very strong civ, especially just because how unique they are. And a lot of people, when they come up against them, are like, rifle riders, oh wait, how do I counter those? Or like the riflemen, and even the bow riders, it kind of just throws them off. So yeah, that's my Sioux Nation review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to have the next Nation review poll down below. So please vote on what you guys want next. I'm going to specifically do a European civ. I know I could do Japan or the Iroquois. Actually, I have done Iroquois review. I know I could do Japan, but I want to do a European civ because I haven't done a European civ in like months. So we're going to focus on a European civ. Take your vote down below what you guys want, and I will see you guys in the next video.